My name is Francis Jurado. My maiden name is Holmes, and I'm from Morongo Indian Reservation.
Okay, my name is Walter Holmes. I'm from Morongo Reservation. I'm a Cree Indian. I'm a bird singer from generation. I'm the third generation bird singer here in Morongo, and I was taught by my elders from generation to generation. And now I'm the head singer since all my uncles are passed, and I lead the songs, and I represent Morongo, and I represent all different tribes, and I go to all different events, to all different social things that we have, and I'm represented there, and I sing here in Morongo for the kids, the preschool, and from the 2nd to the 7th grade. On Wednesdays I sing and teach the songs, and how to sing it, and how to dance it, how to perform it. And I was raised up by my grandfather and them. They taught me how to sing these songs because they told me one day I was going to be next in line, because my generation, my family were all bird singers from generation to generation up to me. We host the longest walk because we're all people, native people, and we share our culture, we share our love to each other, and when events like this happen, we want to help out and be part of, because we all live together, we all live in the same spirit, and we all sing the same songs, we all worship the same creator. And so they're coming through here, so we welcome here to be hostess, so they can rest and travel on farther, so they can have good spirits as they're walking, because it's a long walk, and they need to have rest, they need to be fed, they need to be bathed, they need to have social worship with each other and represent our heritage.
How many tribes do you have in these regions? Because
there's like about 60 reservations in Southern California that we gather all together one way or another. We all gather in different reservations in different counties, and we all represent each other. And mostly all of us know each other, and we all share the same songs. They're all almost similar songs, they're all the same. They just sang in their language. For their songs, they sing for their language and their songs, and the way they sing, like we sing our songs in our language to represent our creator.
Can you talk to me a little bit about the struggle to recover your language, to recover your traditions, to recover the sources of life?
The government came in and separated the Indians from their reservations and put them in schools, boarding schools, because they didn't want us to learn our language. So that's how our language got lost. Nowadays, we're trying to bring our language back. We're having classes, and we're having people going to colleges to represent our language, and now we have classes here in Morongo. We have classes on different reservations, so our language can come back for our youngsters, so they can understand, so we can leave something for them as they grow up, because most of our elders are almost all gone, and a lot of the history is almost gone, because when the elders go, we lose a lot of history. But the modern days are here now, where all computers are coming in and all these things, TVs and commercials, come in. I'm happy that we have our little school here in Morongo, so we can keep our heritage to our youngsters, because if they go into town, they won't learn the heritage. They just learn out of the books, the history books they got. But they come on the reservation to go to school here, they learn more, because when I grow, I speak my language, and I talk the language to them, and teach them the right songs, and the songs talk about a journey that we took. From different reservations, from season to season to season, we took journeys to live off the land and trade blankets and trade horses and trade food. That's how we lived, and so that's what we're teaching our kids today, our youngsters. Even though some kids go to public schools, they learn some, but when they come out to a gathering or to a powwow, they learn off of that. But the ones that here, they go to school on the reservation, they learn more, because they get the knowledge, because I come in, and Ernie Masiva, he's another elder, he comes in, he teaches them too. So that's how the youngsters here that we teach will know the language and know the songs and know where the journey's at, how far we got to go with it.
What about the history program? I mean, in the school on the reservation, are you able to teach the real history to your kids compared to public school?
Well, on the reservation, they teach the kids the public knowledge from the city, but when they're out here, they give us time, give us an hour or two to explain the history from the beginning to the end. But as months go through the year, we explain a little bit about the history and about how they traveled and how they ate and where they slept and where they danced from and everything. So they'll understand. So as they grow up, they'll understand it, even if they do leave the reservation, to go in. Because the kids that are on the reservation, and some of them, when they get old enough, they want to go to high school. And they don't want to go. They have high school here too, but they don't want. They want to go meet other people in the city. But as they're learning. So when they do go out and they get old enough, they'll recognize the heritage as they get over, and they'll come back and they'll say, "Well, yeah, I remember this. I remember this when I was in elementary school. I remember this and how I was taught." So that way, it gives a fresh, because kids, they grow up, they learn everything they teach them, they learn. So that's what we do. We teach them before they leave, and when they grow up, they come back. And I think about 85% of them, they do come back and start singing and start dancing and going to powwows and gatherings like that.
At home, that's one of the things that we do when we have our little kids. We show them. We tell them this is how we do this. This is how we conduct ourselves out there as an Indian person. Because a lot of times, like I teach my son, when you're out there, they don't know who you are. They just know that you're Indian, but they don't know this Indian inside. So in order for you to show it, you have to be that example and show them, what you learn at home, what you learn with your uncle, what you learn with your aunties. That's the traditional part that you teach, you hand down to your kids. And so once they go into school, we always tell them, like I tell my son, when you go somewhere, sit down and look all around you, see who's there. Then you'll know how to conduct yourself, what you have to do. Who do you have to go and say hi to? When I go places like this and I see elders, come on, you have to go with me. Shake their hand, be that respect, show that respect. And he does, and I show that to him. So when he goes anywhere, he goes and he shakes their hand. When he's not with me and he's out there, I hear like people say, well, you got a good son, and that comes from being at home and around his uncles, his big uncle, his little uncles, his aunties, and that's how we are with our days. A long time ago, we couldn't do that because of how it was harder then, and a lot of the Indians didn't have what we have nowadays. And so they had to really scrape to get what they had. And so, but the main thing that they had at home was structure. And when we go, like we have our traditional stuff, or we go to traditional wakes, that structure that they had at home, they also have to carry that there. That means be quiet, you have to be respectful, don't say nothing, don't run around, don't do all this. And that's what society teaches them. It's okay to do all that. But see, here we tell them that's not okay, because that's not what we are, and that's not who we are. I wanted to add with what my brother had said about why we are hosting this walk. A long time ago, my ancestors on my dad's side and also on my mom's side, they used to open up the house like this. They used to have a house where they gathered, and they used to have to go and open that up for the people. So this is the tradition that me and my brother are continuing on. And because of who we are as Indian people, and this is what we do, like he said. This is what we do. And not only to Indian people, but to everybody that comes.